Now, what are we going to do tonight? I'll tell you what we are not going to do tonight, okay? We are not going to do any stock pick tonight. Yeah, so if you're wondering like which stock will go up and down, sorry, okay, not tonight. Yeah, but if one-on-one, we can always share with you our personal opinion. Yeah, but none of us here have a crystal ball. So personal opinion remains as personal opinion. Tonight, mainly it's about strategy. We're going to look at a lot of different kind of strategies involving different kind of criteria. So it is all about how to join the dots. Okay, it's not about some specific product or specific stock. Okay, and we encourage you after tonight. Okay, now it's 8 o'clock. By 9:30, we'll definitely end. We encourage you to have one-on-one conversation with us. Yeah, because money is very sensitive. I don't think you want to raise your hand in a group context and suddenly say like, oh, I can't afford this, or like that's too little for me. You're going to sound either too humble or too arrogant, right? So keep your questions for our one-on-one conversation. For those who know Yuan Tai, Victor, and I personally, we will meet for coffee or go for a hike. But for those who do not know us personally, maybe we'll just do a Zoom or even over a call. Okay. Yeah, so please get ready, paper and pen, and write lots and lots of questions. I promise you, there'll be lots of questions. Okay, a few of you have signed up but are late, but we can't wait. Okay, we can't wait. We are going to start straight away. Okay, here goes. So let me be even more specific. Tonight is suitable for those who are worried about the high inflation. If you're not worried, if you think, it's not so high, it's only 5 point something, right? So sorry, we can't help you, okay? Maybe you are much more wealthier than us. Yeah, but if you are like the normal person in Singapore, right, you do worry about the vegetable prices, the egg prices, the property prices, yeah, then tonight is for you. And then generally speaking, because when it comes to risk appetite, it is quite relative, right? Like for example, Yuan Tai, I, and Victor, we run a financial consulting business. To some of you, that is very high risk. It's like, oh, no, I want to have a protected job, stable income. But to us, it's quite low to mid risk, right? Because there's no rental of office, there's no labor cost, there's no commodity cost. So you can see that risk is relative. And then I know some of you like to buy stocks, right? You like to pick stocks like HiFlux, SIA, Tesla, Amazon, right? Some of you feel that it is very low risk because you know a lot about the company, you have done your homework. But to me, at least, it is quite high risk because when you go to sleep, you wake up, right? The US hour is over, the trading hour is over, and then you don't know what happened to Tesla, what happened to Amazon, what did Biden announce, you don't know, right? So to me, that's quite high risk, being sleeping while the market is going on. Yeah, so as you can see, risk is relative, okay? So before I ask further, can you go to the Zoom chat? Let's practice how to interact, okay? Please write down what do you think your risk level is, okay, based on your own observation. Between 1 to 10. 10 is very high risk. That means you're willing to buy a franchise. You don't mind renting a vending machine to rent out. Never mind if you don't make money. And then 1 is like, oh, I only want guaranteed things. Anything that doesn't have the word guaranteed, I will never touch it. Okay, so 1 to 10, give yourself a rating. This is a self-assessment. Okay, how big is your risk appetite? Is it at a level 10, 7, 6, 5, 4? What level is it at? Okay, so Genevieve is 2, okay, Janet 6, Rayson 7, Yang Yu, okay, Clarence 2 to 3, Lily 7, Deepak 4. Okay, once again, I want to repeat, there's no such thing as right or wrong risk. You know your risk appetite. You know what is wrong? Wrong is you put yourself 4, like Deepak. Okay, your risk appetite is 4, but you go and do something that is at 8 or 9 simply to support a friend. Simply because it feels good. That is wrong. Okay, that is wrong. Yeah, likewise, if let's say Kashmira put 8, but then everything you choose is guaranteed, and then you ask, hey, is this guaranteed? Is that guaranteed? That means there is a mismatch between what you say and what you do. Okay, so please remember your risk appetite, and then as we assess different strategies, write down which strategy suits your appetite. This is something that only you can do. We cannot do it for you. And then we are also talking about retirement and legacy. Okay, these two things. We're not talking about make a quick buck. So if you want to put in money and you ask me 2 months later, which one will double, I cannot answer you. Nobody can answer you. The person who can answer you, you better run far, far away. That's called a scam. We are doing long-term things here. Victor is, I think, in his early 40s, Yuan Tai, late 30s, I am late 40s. You know, all of us are planning for retirement. And then some of us here have children, like Victor has children, I have children. We are also planning for legacy. Okay, so once again, before I continue, who here has children? Can you please put the letter C? C for children. Whether you regret or not, never mind. Just put you have children, okay? It is not counseling. Yeah, okay, good. So if you have children, you have to make a decision whether to leave them a legacy or not. Okay, none of us here is called Li Ka-shing or Elon Musk, right? Don't have, okay. So we're not talking about leaving billions for your children. Okay, I'm talking about very simple thing. Like for example, for me, I plan such a way that I have 5-digit for my own retirement. That means about $12,000 to $15,000 per month, right? Including inflation for my own retirement. Yeah, because I don't expect to keep talking forever, right? Yeah. And then my children, after I pass on, will get around 2 to 3K per month passively. So that's my legacy for them. I'm not going to leave them a few $1,000,000 other than my condo. Yeah, but at least they get $2,000 to $3,000 per month. Then when they want to quit their job, they can, right? Because they don't have to report to a toxic boss just to pay bills, right? So this is the kind of legacy I mean. And then retirement, I want to be self-sufficient, right? I don't want to rely on my children. Gone are the days where we need our children to pay us a few $100 or even a few $1,000 in parenting allowance, right? We don't want to stress them. You know, I wrote a LinkedIn and Facebook post yesterday. You know, I want to be the last sandwich generation, right? I don't want to leave a burden for my children. I don't want them to have to support me in terms of property or my daily expenses. I want to take care of myself. And then at the same time, I want to plan a little bit, right? $2,000 to $3,000 is not a lot per month for the lifetime of my children, right? That's my planning. You don't have to follow my planning, but this is at least food for thought, okay? So remember, not get rich quick, but a long-term retirement and legacy planning. And we also want to plan this content for people who prefer to do other things, right? If you prefer to monitor your investments, do day trading, sorry, tonight is not suitable for you, right? Tonight is for those who actually love doing something else, like jogging, swimming, spending time with their children, watching movie, right? Doing charity, mission work, Bible study, you know, all these other things, not monitoring investments. So I just want to be very clear, we are talking to the right people. Who here is like me, Yuan Tai, and Victor? We prefer to do other things other than monitor investment. Please put yes. Okay, YES. If you have spare time, like next week, Thursday is a public holiday, you prefer to spend that public holiday doing something else. Well, not sit there and then monitor your portfolio and then start to rebalance. Right? If that's your hobby, then don't tell us that you have no time for your children or other things, okay? That means you prefer to spend time on your hobby of monitoring your stock investment. I'm not trying to judge, okay? I do know friends who love it, right? They love it. They calculate all day. They prefer don't talk to their wife, don't talk to their children. They just calculate, right? It's just not me. It's just not me. It's not Yuan Tai and it's not Victor, okay? Sorry if you are the sort who likes to calculate. Sorry, I'm not talking about you, okay? Yeah, and then, okay, this is the rubber hits the road, okay? If you listen to the whole webinar and then you say, wow, I love all your strategy, but you say, sorry, I only have $10, $50, then I'm very sorry, tonight's webinar, all the strategy is not suitable for you, right? If you really do have $50, again, no judgment, because I used to be very, very poor in 2014 to 16, 3 years of poverty. I had government help out. That means they give my children food voucher. So I'm not judging anyone for being broke. right? I'm just saying that the strategy does not work for someone who is broke, right? If you are broke, you should probably look for a job that has a higher income. Okay, this one, by the way, Yuan Tai, Victor, and I can help you. So we can look at your CV and give you some comments for free, you know, how to fine-tune it so that you can look for a better job. Or you probably need to bring down your expenses. Okay, sorry, I think this is the truth. Okay, some of you are spending too much and therefore you don't have $500 spare to invest or to save up. So you better look at your own expenses and do something about it after tonight. Once again, Yuan Tai, Victor, and I can help you with that. Okay, this is not a product. All we'll do is just sit down with you for 45 minutes, look through your expenses, look through your income, and help you to differentiate between the must-have and the nice to have. You know, it's so basic, but some people cannot do it, right? They tell me bubble tea is must have. Hello, what planet are you on? You must drink bubble tea, if not you die. Or like, Brand's essence of chicken is must have, if not you die. Okay, so we will sit down. We are very neutral and independent, right? We have no emotion one. We'll just tell you that this one is must have, this one is nice to have. And then after you differentiate, then time to cut off the nice to have, including your car, right? If you happen to be driving a car, but you actually cannot afford it. Hey, by the way, if you bought your car 2-3 years ago and you sell today, you can actually make a profit, okay? Yeah, because the COE is very, very high. In fact, I just sold my car and I bought another one, okay? That one long story. Anyway, I made a $20,000 profit, okay? So if you are short of cash, sell your car, okay? Sell a car. Okay, now, who is it not suitable for? As I mentioned, people who find it a hobby to monitor stock, rebalance constantly, not suitable for you, or get rich quick. Okay, I don't want to end up very preachy here, but remember, if this describes you, then you can do something else already. Okay, tonight is not suitable for you. Okay, how do I know poverty? Because I was laid off before. Oh, today I just received news from Yuan Tai that Grab is going to lay off a lot of people, and then Facebook just lay off a lot of people. Amazon laid off a lot of people. My brother works for Amazon, by the way. Thankfully, he's not laid off. And a lot of people have been laid off. So I have been laid off before in 2013. And then one whole year, I couldn't find a job, which is why I ended up very, very broke. Yeah, I'm very thankful for our Singapore government for supporting us financially. Okay, tonight it's not political party campaign. Yeah, but I just want to express gratitude that being in Singapore is such a blessing. And then after that, I told myself, Eugene Sia, enough is enough, right? How long do you want to give yourself excuse that, oh, I don't know how to plan finance, I don't know anything about investment, right? Enough is enough. I want to learn. Just like bicycle, right? Just imagine. Okay, some of us, you still don't know how to ride bicycle. It's okay. Okay, I'm not judging you. Yeah. No, then people give you a bicycle for Christmas present. Then what are you going to do? Right? You're going to carry on your shoulder or what? Right? Learn how to ride a bicycle. Then after you learn, then you can be faster than anybody else. You can work out in a very fun way. Then you go to East Coast Park, you don't have to pay money to rent. You just bring your bike along. Correct? So this is an analogy. Tonight is not a bicycle class. I just want to tell you that if you don't know something, like you don't know how investment works, you don't know how insurance works, go and learn. Don't give yourself excuses that, oh, I'm an engineering student, therefore I don't know how finance works. Victor is engineering student. He is a financial expert. Yuan Tai is pharmaceutical student. He knows how investment works. I am a film and TV student. I know how investment works. Okay, so enough of excuses. Hey, who is with me here? Enough of excuses. Put enough. Okay, sorry, this word quite long. ENOUGH. Okay, put enough is enough. Okay, no more excuses. And then say, oh, no time, I'm too busy. Hey, you no time to plan your own finance, then your finance will plan you. You understand? Right? Because either you plan your finance or your finance plan you. Finance plan you means you run out of money. Or enough is enough. Hey, only 2 people enough. The rest want to continue with your excuses. Okay, maybe just type letter E. I know some of you don't want to type the whole word. Okay? Type the letter E. That means enough is enough. No more excuses, no more scams. You know, I'm not going to just trust one person with my money anymore. I want to at least know what I'm doing with my money. Even if you have a financial consultant, you want to know what you're putting money in. You don't want to just pass it to him and say, hey, up to you what you do with my money. No, okay? Enough is enough. Let me continue. Oh, by the way, Yuan Tai, I, and Victor were sponsoring $10 GrabFood voucher for 3 people tonight. Okay, it's just for fun. I know you can afford $10 GrabFood, okay? Yeah, it's just for fun. So later on, as I share certain concepts, I will pick the person who is the most enthusiastic, most participative. Then later when Victor's turn, same thing. He will share the $10 with someone who is enthusiastic and participative, which is a different person. So same person cannot win 3 times, no matter how enthusiastic you are, okay? And then Yuan Tai will pick the third winner. Okay, here goes. This is not my family. Okay, you can see very clearly not my face. This is a stock picture. But this describes a median family. What does median mean? You put family number 1 and family number 100, and median is person number 50. So this is median. Now, without doing Googling, without ChatGPT, can you tell me what is the median income of a family where the husband and wife works? Okay, the elderly parents don't work, the children obviously don't work. Okay, no child labor here in Singapore, other than McDonald's. At McDonald's, you see a lot of child labor. Everywhere else, no child labor. So how much do you think this family earns together? 2 income, husband and wife. How much is it in Singapore dollars, please? Okay, no Aussie dollar, no US dollar, Singapore dollar. And no Googling, 6K. Okay, not bad. Deepak, Shaun says 7K. Okay. Okay. Vinu is 9K. Clarence 8K. Lily 8K. Well, all quite similar. Janet, bingo! Oh, well done, Janet. Okay, it's 10K. I know some of you say, huh? Are you sure? So high, man. Okay, go to singstep.gov.sg if you don't believe me. Okay, then you can see that the median income for a single individual is about 5K and $2. So 2 combined obviously is 10K. Obviously, some people will earn more, some people will earn less. That's why it's called median. Median. You know what's average, right? Average is to take the entire Singapore population divided by the population. Okay, average is very, very inaccurate because there are a lot of rich people, billionaires in Singapore, right? Can you imagine you take their income divided by the population, then all our income will artificially go up, okay? So median is a lot more accurate than average. Next question, expenses. How much does a family like this with 2 elderly parents, 2 young children spend per month? Obviously less than 10K. Singapore is a saving country, not like US. Sorry if any of you are Americans. Okay, Americans are not known to save. Singaporeans are known to save. Right, so how much do we spend? Vino says 4K, not bad, not bad. Wow, Rayson, saving nation, what 9K? Janet says 5K, Clarence, Lily, Shaun 5K. Okay, all very, very close. No one is exactly 6K, or maybe I missed some of you. 6K, okay? Okay, this is simple already. No need to guess anymore. Just calculate. What is the monthly cash flow for this family? This one is very simple. No need to take calculator even. What is the monthly cash flow? Thank you. Very good. Okay, quite obvious. 4K. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Right. I'm doing all this step by step to show you that this is how you should do financial planning for your own family. Okay. Go and calculate your husband or your wife's income and you. I think most of you either single or double, or you don't have like 4 adults earning in your family. But the one would be very, very lucky family. Okay. So calculate your total and then plus, don't forget your variable bonus, right? A lot of us got 13-month bonus. Some of us work in the bank, so got 6 months bonus. Government got what? 1 point something, right? 1.12 month bonus. Very, very pathetic. Okay. Yeah, so go and calculate all your bonuses. Add together with your monthly income. Take an annual 0.3. Okay, annual income divided by 12. Okay, that will be your median, not median, your monthly average income. Okay, that's for your family. Then obviously go and calculate your expenses. Not tonight. Tonight, this is a very big project. Okay. And I know, I've been a financial consultant for 6 years, and it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me. A lot of people don't know their spouse spending. It's very shocking. Okay. This one is not financial planning already. This one you all need to see a counselor. Seriously. Okay. And a lot of people don't have joint bank account. You know, you all got married, you all even have sex, right? Even have children, like no joint bank account. Are you kidding? Like you all trust each other with your body, but not bank account. Serious. Okay. Please go and look for therapists and counselor. Okay. None of us here are therapists and counselor. We're just financial consultants. That's all. Yeah. So please sit down with your spouse or significant other. Nowadays, people call it partner, you know. That means not married one. Okay. Yeah, partner, live together one. Yeah, go and sit down and calculate, for goodness sake. Okay, after tonight. Yeah. Then after you finish calculating, then meet Yuan Tai, Victor, or me. Then we can help you to see which one need to take out, which one need to add in, and things like that. Okay. You need to do your homework first. We cannot do your homework for you. So this family times 12 has 48K of disposable cash flow. That is a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. 48K sitting in the bank, not being spent, not paying insurance premium, not children's education. It is disposable. And a lot of people actually do dispose this money in useless things, like, you know, end of year, Christmas, suddenly go and buy some handbag that they don't need, you know, buy their 20th pair of shoes that they don't need, right? Please use some common sense. Sorry, I'm going to sound very like your father here, right? You know, 孩子们, but boys and girls, please do not spend the 48K disposable cash flow. Okay, this is your future money. You need to remember one day you will stop working one. You know, it's either like me being kicked out of the company suddenly, or you actively plan for it, correct? This is called retirement. Definitely, I can guarantee you, all of you here will stop working one day, right? No one is going to work until 92 years old, last breath, die at your office, right? Don't have one. So you need to plan in advance. Okay, don't make, nowadays, you know, a lot of show got time travel one, right? Yeah, no spoiler, don't worry, no spoiler. Okay, yeah, but a lot of movie like what Endgames, Infinity War, even The Flash, all this got time travel, right? Just imagine your future self one day, time travel to 2023. What will your future self say to you? Right? Will your future self say, Eugene, well done on saving 48K for me? Or your future self will come and slap you upside down and say, how dare you spend my money until I have to go and clean table in Kopitiam? Right? So please, although it's quite entertaining, yeah, but this is very serious. Okay, now, this next part is even more serious. In Singapore, this doesn't represent other country. In Singapore, 5% of the 48K is spent in stocks, not spent, invested in stocks. Okay, 15% is in mutual funds, unit trust, or those insurance related savings plan, you know, like endowment plan, annuity plan. 15%. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what happened to the 80%? Where is it? This one don't have to look too far. Okay, some of you, your own money is also like that. 5% in shares, 15% buy unit trust, and then ask yourself, where's 80% of your 48K? Come. Tell us, what do you think happened to the 88? Yes, Cheyenne. In the bank. And I purposely choose the word sitting. It is sitting in the bank. Or not walking, not running, not treadmill, not weightlifting, right? Your money is sitting in the bank. Yeah, maybe in fixed deposit, correct? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Okay, this one no need me to tell you. This one anybody will tell you, right? It is depreciating. Currently, bank interest is the highest ever. It is very high, but it is still below inflation. As long as your bank interest, your fixed D interest, your treasury bill interest is below inflation, your money is depreciating, right? Don't tell me like it's higher than last time. Why you compare with last time for what? Last time was 0.05, now 1.2, okay? You compare for what? Last time inflation was 2%, now 5.5%, what? No, this is simple mathematics. You don't need to study 4 years of diploma for this, right? Please, for goodness sake, no matter whether you believe Yuan Tai and me, Victor, or not, or you believe other people, you must do something with your money. It cannot sit there in the bank. And then some people tell me, what if 2 years later I got renovation? It's not a difficult question to answer, right? Just carve out, like, how much do you want to spend on renovation? Okay, 60K. Well, repair 2 toilets, right? Repair the flooring. Okay, then carve out 60K. Then the rest of it, do something with it, right? You cannot put 200K, 300K in the bank and say, what if got renovation? What if this? What if that? Like with your what ifs, right? You will never ever touch the 200-300K sitting in the bank. Okay, it is your psychology playing tricks on you. Hey, who thinks I'm making sense, or am I talking nonsense? Who thinks I'm making sense? Please put sense. Okay, SCNSE. That means you carve out money that you need for renovation. You carve out money that you need for repair of aircon, or maybe your children are getting, like I know Lily's children are more or less at their age, supposed to get married soon. Yeah, maybe you want to carve out one big ang pao to pay for the wedding banquet. You know, just carve out. Then the rest of it, please, for goodness sake, right? It's not for my sake, it's for your spouse's sake, for your children's sake. Please go and do something with it. Okay, invest in something safe. Okay, enough of preaching. So a lot of people have a lot of excuses, right? Sorry, a lot of excuses. No time, no knowledge. So tonight, we at least solve the knowledge part, okay? We cannot solve the time part. Time, you better go and look for a life coach and do your time planning, right? But for knowledge, tonight, we're going to share with you. If you don't learn anything tonight and you don't take action, I'm very sorry, you'll be trapped by your job forever. Some of you are in a business like property or insurance or tuition teacher, same thing. You're going to be trapped by your job and business, right? Because you cannot disappear. The moment you disappear, your money also disappear. Okay, so please learn to build passive income. Number two, some of us are very tired already. We are very burnt out by our boss, by our KPI, but you cannot leave, you cannot retire. Even though you're already 50 something, still cannot retire because you didn't plan for passive income. And then the worst sin of all is that we're supposed to be the last sandwich generation, but because you don't plan well, then your children continue to be sandwiched. That means your children have to use their meager salary, you know, at most they're going to earn 4K, right? No matter what they study, except doctor lah. Even lawyers don't earn that much, by the way. So they're going to earn 4K, 5K, then they are supposed to give you how much? $500. Then what? Father, mother, both around, give 500 each. Then they are left with what? And HDB nowadays are very close to $1 million or more than $1 million. You want your children to do what? Back, borrow, steal, take a second job, third job. So please, for goodness sake, okay, this is a very, this is criminal. Don't allow the next generation to suffer like us. They should be more abundant than us. Okay, so now ask you actual numbers now. How much do you actually plan for? Okay, please type the actual number. How much do you plan for per month for your own retirement? Don't plan for your spouse, right? If your spouse is not here, ask your spouse to join us the next time. Okay, plan for yourself. Okay, think of yourself at 62 or 65. How much do you need per month? And then the entire sum of money needs to be passive, right? Because I don't want you to end up really go and pick up cardboard boxes or clean table or anything. Okay, so please put in the number now and let the law of attraction apply. Okay, we know it's 8K. Deepak is 1K. Hey, Deepak, I just want to, sorry. NUS did a study of 2018. 2018, NUS did a study and they found that the most frugal person in Singapore, bachelor, no need to support family, spends 1.2K. That was 2018. Okay, there's no way on earth 2023 you can use 1K. I mean, unless, of course, every day eat one meal instead of two meals. Okay, so Genevieve 2K, Janet 2K, and so on. Kashmira 4K. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, all these, I assume you all didn't count in inflation. Yes, Vinu, very good. Vinu used some inflation calculator probably, and that's why she put 8K. Okay, so the rest of you, it looks like you are planning for this year. That means this year, if you retire, you need 2K, 1K, 3K. Okay, so remember to calculate inflation. We can't do it for you because we don't know your age, right? Yeah, later we'll send you a QR code where you can tell us your age, then we can do it for you, okay? But now we don't know your age, so you have to calculate yourself. If it's 20 years later, usually it's close to double. That means if you Rayson needs 3K, right? Then 20 years later, you need roughly 6K, okay? So it's pretty easy to calculate. Okay, now, if you go to MES website, you look below the link, mes.gov.sg, they actually have an inflation calculator, okay? Yeah, so I went to use it and I found out that if you need $5,000 for food per month, and some of us spend more than that, then in around 20 plus years, you need $8,000 for food. Okay, this is based on past inflation. You see, the inflation is 2.15. This is not based on 5.5%, right? Because they haven't add in the 5.5%. This is historical inflation. Okay, so you can see it is very, very real, and our government is very concerned that we are underestimating how much we need. And then how about healthcare? Healthcare is another biggie for old people, especially, right? So if you need 5K per month for healthcare, you will need 8.1K per month in about 20 plus years time. And that's assuming 2.24% inflation. All these are past inflation. Let's look at the actual current inflation. I'm very sorry to announce to you, it is very, very high. You probably have felt it already, right? When you go to FairPrice, when you pay for tuition fees, or even taxis, it is very, very scary. Now, this one no need to answer us already. I want you to go and rework the numbers, right? There's some homework for you after listening to us. Go and rework the numbers and make sure you take into account inflation so that you don't think that you already have enough. Okay, CPF can give you roughly about 2K per month. Okay, later Victor will give you a more accurate figure, right? So if you really think you only need 2K, then actually you don't even need to know anything about investment, right? Just wait for your CPF money to come, right? But I'm very sorry to tell you, CPF is not enough for your retirement. That's why the government even come up with other schemes called SRS. Can anyone tell me, without Googling, SRS stand for what? Go to Zoom chat, type in SRS stand for what? Okay, without Googling, without ChatGPT. Pauline, well done. By the way, Pauline is also a financial guru, right? If you are a lady and you have questions about financial planning, Pauline will be the lady to go to. Okay, so supplementary retirement scheme is also from the government, but not related to CPF. And why did the government come out with SRS if CPF is enough? It is a no-brainer that the government knows CPF is not enough. But if they want to make sure CPF has a lot more money for you, that means your compulsory contribution has to be more also. Correct or not? And then guess what? They will lose their next election. Nobody will be so silly to go and take more money away from your already meager salary, right? So they give you an optional scheme called the SRS, and then use carrot dangle in front of you to say you can have tax rebates. Okay, so this proves to you CPF not enough. So please, for goodness sake, after listening to me, Yuan Tai and Victor tonight, do something else on top of SRS and CPF. Okay, so this is the strategy. Later, I invite you to take a picture, but not right now. Okay, so first, you have the defender strategy. Okay, I don't care whether you know how to play soccer, but I'm sure at least you know how soccer works, right? You know, even if you pass by the living room, you can see your spouse watching soccer. Roughly, you know, it's a group of men chasing after one ball, right? And this group of men need to stand in strategic position. You cannot have 11 men from the team all chasing after one ball. That means this is like preschool or primary school level, right? Anybody with a professional training, they will stand in position. This is an analogy for your money, right? You don't take the whole lump sum of your 8K per month and chase after the same thing, like all spent on cruise or holiday or all put into stocks, right? You learn to do diversification, learn to allocate, right? Just imagine your money can listen to you. You say, you stand here, don't move. You stand here, I tell you. Right? You don't go and take your renovation fund or your children's education fund and say, hey, wow, Bitcoins look very exciting. Shall we go and take our children's education fund, put into Bitcoin, and maybe he can go to Harvard? I tell you, this is the true story. Some of my friends did that, and now their children cannot even go NUS. Okay, don't say Harvard. Because the money meant for education is gone. And some of you want to do retirement planning, right? Instead of 65, you want to retire at 55. But because you go into very risky instrument that you know nothing about, called the Nanning investment scheme. Okay, I think some of you were in it. Yeah, and then you go to China, then you put in $30,000 in a bank account, and then you have to recruit people to bring there, and then you can earn money. Then suddenly COVID happened, boom. Yeah, 30K gone. Not just 30K, don't forget flight ticket and accommodation. right? It's all gone. Okay, I'm not here to laugh at people, okay, because I myself have been scammed before by Forex. Somebody told me, hey, Eugene, you just lost your job, right? Yeah, I tell you what, very easy money, very easy money. You just mirror my trades. I'm a Forex trader, you mirror my trades, okay? Yeah, hey, how much money you have? Oh, 200K. I just pass me 50K will do. The other 150K you keep. I lost all my 50K. Because the person didn't even mirror my trade. The person just take my money and run. And he's not so stupid. The first few months still pay me a bit of money, right? To fake it, to make it look like there's a scheme going on so that I can go and recruit friends. Thankfully, I never recruit my friend. Okay. So please remember, you need defender no matter what kind of risk profile you are, no matter how much financial knowledge you have, you need defender. Now, what are defenders? They are lower risk, guaranteed lower returns. Right? There are a lot of products out there that are defenders. Okay, can you list down some for me? Go to the Zoom chat. List down some of the defender products and the tools and the instruments that you know. List down. Okay, FD, very good. FD is guaranteed. What else? T-bill, very good. It's guaranteed. Singapore saving bond, very good. Wow, you see, I can predict. Okay, very good. Someone, come. All the guaranteed ones. Later, Victor will share with you a guaranteed product that none of you name. Okay, it is like a blind spot. Okay, he calls it the Legacy ATM. This is our nickname. This is not the actual product name, but this is our strategy name. Okay, next one, midfielder. Okay, some of us never heard of midfielder before. When you watch soccer, you only know the defender and then the attacker. Okay, there's a group called midfielder, right? Without a midfielder, the soccer strategy wouldn't work at all, right? The forwards will be too tired. The defender will do nothing. So the midfielder are very important. Midfielder are mid-risk. Okay, mid-risk. That means not completely low risk, but not super high risk. And then it must give you above average return. Because if it gives you average or lower return, you shouldn't even take any risk at all, right? You should just go for guaranteed. The moment there's something called non-guaranteed, then you must see that is it worth the risk or not, correct? Yeah, and make sure it must at least beat inflation, at least. Okay, so remember, don't forget the midfielder. Okay, these are REITs, real estate investment trust. So you don't go and buy a real property like a bungalow or a condo, but you go and buy a unit called the REITs or the exchange traded fund. Right, all these things I will explain later. Or the zero tax condo, which is Yuan Tai's nickname for his strategy. Okay, and finally, I will be sharing quite close to 9:30 something called the forward, which is higher risk, higher returns. Okay, these are the most famous things like stocks, properties, business franchises, even MLM belongs to this category. Vending machine, I bet you didn't think about this. And then something called the Magic Mountain. Okay, so Victor will start first, Yuan Tai will take next, and then I will close off the session. Can everyone please join your hands together and welcome our next speaker, Victor Fong.
Thank you, Eugene, for your warm introduction. I think I always enjoy Eugene's opening address. Will keep us all on our edge of our seats, and then everyone, I think you're all energized tonight. Okay, so it's already 8:40 p.m. I will take this next segment, right, to talk a bit more about the defensive strategy. Now, first of all, I started my introduction by showing a picture of my family. Reason being, I'm just as much, even though I'm a professional financial consultant, I'm also just like you, okay? We are a typical family. We all have a family unit consists of a father and a mother, and most of us are in our 30s to 40s, right? And then most of the time, both are working, right? Because one income find it very tough to support a family. So then kids are probably in their primary school age group, all right? And there's one thing I find in common based on a family is that we all know the importance of growing our money, right? A lot of things that we need in life, right? Especially that we want to take care of the kids is to do with money, right? So this was a picture of us going to Wild Wet when after COVID, when it reopened, and then they allow us to ever go out of the house. So I kept this picture there to remind us that, wow, we're not going to take this kind of freedom for granted anymore, right? Having been locked in the house for over 2 years, right? Finally be able to go out and just have time together as a family, right? Is so much a thing we can treasure. So similarly, I think you also wish the same for your family, right? You just want to hope that your kids grow well. You also wish that the money that you hard earned for will also keep growing, but at the same time also want to sleep at night. Okay, so and this is my 10th year in working as a professional as well. And many of my clients are just like me as well. So you see some of the testimony they give me from this Dr. Suresh. He's one of my very good clients when I first started, and he's still with me. So we really treat each other like a family. He invites me to his family gatherings. I also invite him to come to my gatherings as well. So this is where we not only advise financially, it's a professional way. We also treat one another like a family unit. All right. Most of you are my clients. Those of you are my clients. You know the way we gather, right? Always through movies and through some lifestyle events, sometimes even for normal coffee chit chat. Okay. And thanks to you, I'm also a winner of this award called the Service Mark. The Service Mark is a very interesting award. It's not just about bringing a lot of business to the company that I represented, right? It's also about that clients have no complaints and they are very willing to support me and they're willing to give good testimony. So with this kind of criteria, then and only am I able to win this award. And because of this award, right, it reminds me to keep going. All right. Every time I look at this picture, I remember myself, service, service, service. Number one is service. Continue to add value to my clients and to people that I meet. So whoever that you recommended to come into my circle of influence to seek some financial help or financial advice, right? That's where I want to continue to give value. Tonight's webinar is all about that, right? There's nothing for us to tell you what to do. It's more about giving you options to decide. With better options, then you can decide how to make a better plan for your life. Isn't it true? Oh, so just stay with us tonight. Later, at the end of my segment, right, I'll be asking a quiz. Right? One of you will be a winner. If you can answer this quiz question fast, you'll be able to win a $10 GrabFood voucher from me. Okay, as a token of appreciation for paying attention. All right, so let's go. Now, every time I like to joke, every time I meet someone new or even a friend that I've not met for a long time, I always like to ask them about this question about investing, right? In terms of investing or in terms of growing your money, I can almost read your mind. Don't we all want this? Make as high return as possible. Right now, I want the highest return for my money. At the same time, I also want the lowest risk, right? Anybody want lowest return and highest risk? Don't make sense, right? So we all want the highest return. We also want the lowest risk. But at the same time, right, we also want to take money back as fast as possible, shortest time. Now, if there's one product like that, we will be very happy, right? High return, low risk, and then take the money back very fast. The best is you invest today, 1 hour later, you get back your money, and then you got 20% return, right? But how many times do you think, how many, I mean, in your whole life experience, do you ever think there's such an investment like that? No? It's a bit like this analogy. Some people say that you want to buy something, right? You want cheap, good, and fast, right? Fast delivery, right? But we all know, okay? Anything that's cheap and good, right? Definitely cannot be fast, right? You gotta take time to produce it. If you want it cheap and fast, right? Then definitely the product can't be good, Isn't it true? Or how about if you want things that's good and you want it fast, then definitely you have to pay more for it. It cannot be cheap. Right? So in the same analogy, right? If you apply to investment, right? If you want a high return, low risk, and then you want to take it back in the shortest possible time, the financial term is called liquidity, being liquid, a liquid investment that's high return, low risk, and very liquid. Usually, right, is a scam, right? SCAM, or scam, right? Then that's where you will hear sometimes you have this WhatsApp message. I think I have a friend who fell prey to the scam. In fact, he actually lost 2.75 million. So this 2.75 million, if I tell him if you actually put it in a 1% time deposit, 1% return every year, you also have about 20K every year. Not too bad, right? But 2.75 gone like that. And the underlying investment, they always say that it's okay. You put in money, every month you get 20%. And he actually made money for the first 6 months. So he thought, wow, since this is fast money, right? So might as well put some more. Then in the end, the total amount they lost is actually to a Ponzi scheme, right? The moment there's new investment coming in, the old investors get paid. But after a while, when there's no new fund coming, right? Then that's where they will the early investor will pull the plug and then they'll run away with the money. This happens again and again for so many years. Even I would say maybe even 30, 50 years ago, it has been happening until today, it will still happen. All right. So in order for us to guard against it, right, just need to understand this very first part, right? You cannot have all three. You want all three, right? It's very easy to fall prey to scam. Okay. Now, having said that, there are also two kinds of legit investment that is very liquid. Means you can actually get back your money at the shortest possible time. Okay. And for the sake of time, I just want to share with you straight away. It's actually cash and also stock. Now, you look at cash, right? Don't you think even if you want it liquid, you can get it fast, right? You put money in the bank, you can get it back quite fast. But you also cannot have all three, right? You will definitely have lower risk, but you can't have high return. Things like time deposit, fixed deposit, right? And the reason why people do that is because they rather take the lower risk, right? Even though not earning money, or they are not sure what to do with the money. That's why in the first segment when Eugene shared, right? Most of us just put money in the time deposit because you don't really know what to do. But tonight, this is where we want to educate and share more options for you to consider besides just parking your money in cash. On the flip side, there are also people who love investing in stocks, right? You go in, you sell, maybe one day later you can actually get back money, right? Go in fast, can come out fast, right? You can have higher returns, but it also means that you got to bear with the higher risk. Because what if you go in and then the money, the stock value just plunge in a few minutes? That's where you can't get back the money fast, right? Or you can get it fast, but you're also making a loss. You see, so there's these two extreme, right? But definitely you cannot have all three. You want if all three, then it's where it gets people into a lot of trouble. Now tonight we just want to protect you. Don't get yourself into trouble. Just understand that you want high return, low risk, or faster process time. Just choose 2 out of 3, right? And I also want to share one of my clients' case study. They also how we actually use this strategy, right, to help a client. This is Mr. and Mrs. Chong. They are my clients since 2013, and they've been always actively working with me. Every year we'll do some form of review to know that they're on track to reach their financial goal. Both are been in the healthcare industry for I think probably more than 10 years. Okay, same. Their kids are in primary school, and they come to me with the wanting to understand if they don't invest money in stocks, right? Because they've always been hearing people that you have to put money in stock market in order to earn a lot more money, but they prefer not to because they are more like healthcare professionals. They work long hours. Even through the COVID period, they also work very long hours, right? And then they just want to make sure that the money can grow well, but they prefer to spend more time, whatever free time they have with the family, with the kids growing up years, than actually monitor the stock market. So they asked me, so what can they do, right? And that's why we came up with this defensive strategy. Okay, now pay attention. Defense strategy is actually very simple. Tonight, I can't give you every detail, but I just want to share the concept the same way I share concepts with them, right? At the end of this segment or after the whole webinar ends, right? That's where Eugene will ask you whether you want a more detailed consultation. Then that's where you can indicate your interest. Or just for tonight, just understand the concept first. So I hope that this concept will really open your mind to know that there are actually ways to grow your money than just putting money in the bank. Okay? We're all familiar with this concept called the ATM. In fact, we all love the ATM, right? Ever since you work in the past, some of you are in your 30s, 40s, you're so familiar with ATM. Except now, maybe people use more of a pay now, right? You just want electronic money. You don't really need to put cash. But ATM has been part of our habit for over the last maybe 1 or 2 decades, right? And the analogy is very simple. We all have the ATM that salary goes into, right? And then active income goes in. Then at the end of the month, we just want to take money to pay for expenses. Then we have money that comes up, all right? So that's passive income. Active income goes in, passive money comes up. Now, what if, and this is a happy question to ask yourself. Can you ask yourself this question, okay? What if my ATM never runs out of money even after I stop working? What if my ATM never runs out of money even I stop working? And then the money continues to pay you. And best of all, this money continues to pay you for the rest of your life. And even better, not only your life, but also your children's life and your children's life. Well, that's why we call this whole strategy called the legacy ATM. It's an ATM that we are familiar with. We get money that comes in every month, but you also can pay you for the rest of your life. That's why the term legacy. Also, remember tonight, this legacy ATM strategy, first of all, there's a 2-pronged approach. The first approach, right, is I'll call it a double engine. You need a double engine to make this work. Okay, first of all, you need to use CPF Life. Now, the second strategy is you need to use an endowment fund. Now, I know some of you are also foreigners. You may not be using CPF Life as one of your strategies. So then you focus more on the endowment. Make it big and make it good for endowment. But for us who are Singaporean PR, and then you have CPF Life working for you, right? You use both, right? With this both, right, then you can call it a very good defensive strategy. Later, I'll show you why. initially, usually share, right, a bit about CPF Life, that the maximum you can actually take from CPF Life is about 2.3K. Okay, and in order for you to do that, it means at the age of 55, you already have about maybe 298K set aside, or 298 set aside. And some of you are under, okay, what if I don't have 298K, right? Then that's where you can have, if you have 120,000 by the time you turn 55, right, you can expect a monthly income of about 1K. Or at the very least, if you only have 60,000, right, you can expect an income, monthly income, when you turn 65 to give you a $500 a month kind of income. Now, this income is going to pay you for the rest of your life, for as long as you live, right? That's why it's called a legacy ATM. So this is the first part that you're going to do it. You got to make full use of your CPF Life. But there are also reasons why you can't actually just depend on CPF Life, right? Which Eugene also briefly mentioned earlier. Because the maximum you can get is only 2.3K, right? Not 2.3K. Even if you are a millionaire, you got 1 million and you park it inside, the maximum they can only take out is, I mean, you can actually set aside is only 298K. Well, okay, of course, the rest you can actually put in CPF Life, CPF account, leave it there, and withdraw as when you need. But the only temptation is this: when you see big chunks of money there, right, that's not dispersed to you every month, right? You have this temptation to want to keep wanting to use it, right? Then you have this lack of discipline to keep the money for long term. That's why this tonight, our webinar is called the Lifetime Income Stream, because we want us to focus, all right, a lot on creating lifetime income stream, that every month, right, you have income that comes in. The moment you finish using it, you wait the next month, and then you have income that comes in. Then you won't be tempted to overspend any spare cash you have. But you still need a little bit there in order for you to take advantage of certain, maybe go travel, or go for a good holiday, exotic holiday. But your CPF is the first one that will give you your basic living. Okay, your maybe 3 meals a day, maybe you go to JB for holiday, and then you use the next strategy for your endowment to give you a more bigger lump sum cash. All right, clear so far? So just a quick recap based on the defensive strategy, the legacy ATM part 1, CPF Life will be the one that you need to max up, but you don't solely depend on it. Okay, to recap, it can only give us about 2.3K. That's a limit to it. Right. Second, there's a maximum cap you can actually top up to your CPF account. And last but not least, is not sufficient to cover our wants. Okay, that's why we go on to the next strategy. And this is the concept that I shared about a typical endowment plan strategy, where, okay, just understand the concept. Details of how it applies to each of you, it'll be better done during a one-to-one consultation. Okay, but for the sake of understanding the concept, just know this. All right, for the next 20 years, right? If your age 40 to 60, if you invest 1K per month for the next 20 years, you can more or less expect that the money will double by the time you turn 65, and you can withdraw it for the next 20 years. Okay, simple enough, just like that only. Just know that it's okay. Exact numbers we have to work out during one-to-one, but for now, know that the endowment strategy works like that. You put the money, you can double it. Okay, double it, but you need to let time work. Okay, that's why at the start we also mentioned you need at least 10 or 20. Best if you give it yourself 20 years, you can actually double the money. Now, the word 2G represents that if you use less than 2K, right, you can actually leave some money behind for the kid. That's why I mentioned legacy ATM is not just about having money for the rest of your life. You can actually create another income stream for your child. And best of all, right, there's a way, right? That's how we ask this question, those of you who have children. If you have children, right, there's a way to structure this plan such that you can even have a lump sum money that's given to your grandchild. Right? For the exact detail, that's why we will go to a consultation. Then we will guide you through. All three of us can able to share. So if you have friends with Eugene or friends with Yantai, they can also advise this on this strategy if you are more inclined towards a defensive strategy method. Okay. So summary, this is the 2.44 times of what you can put in. I mean, what you can take out for what you put in. And it also allows flexible lump sum withdrawal. So to recap, back to the case study of Mr. and Mrs. Chong. When I've advised them on this legacy ATM strategy, I also share the same thing. Use this two-pronged approach, right? I look into their CPF account, I see how much they have, and I project the amount based on what they have to see how they can reach their ideal, or they can actually max it. For them, they can max it, right? But for you who are attending this webinar tonight, I will need time to go through it, and then I'll advise how much you can expect from your CPF Life, right? At the very least, right, it's about 500, but at the max, you can actually take 2 3K. Okay, then if you do another approach using the endowment fund, so it's 1K per month, which is about 12K a year, it will give you another bonus payout about 2K a month. So some of you are, just how we asked this question, right? How much passive income that you wish for your retirement, right? And those of you who actually say that you want about 2K, right? You know that just by doing defensive strategy, right, you already can hit it, but you got to make sure that you focus very much of a big bulk of the saving into this defense strategy. Okay, 2.3, 2K, all right, you can even reach to 4K. Then if you want more, that's when later Yuan Tai will share a bit more of other strategy to help you. Also, you can use a combination of all the options that we're going to give you tonight. So tonight, I'm only covering this defensive strategy, and I hope that it really give you a very good foundation to start planning for your own retirement, right? That's how you usually right, time travel, right? Hope that if really time travel happens, right, you will meet your future self, your older self, come back and say, thank you for doing this for me. Okay. Now, as promised, just now I said that I'll give a $10 voucher for people who answer. Okay, so this is the questions I'm going to ask you. And fastest finger win, okay? Later I'm going to show you what are different options. Fastest finger win, and you stand to win a $10 GrabFood voucher or Grab gift voucher from me. Okay? Now, which of the following is true for a liquid? That means you can get back money very fast in the shortest time, and it's easy for you to withdraw. The kind of liquid investing strategy. You have to accept lower return. You have to take higher risk. You have lack of discipline. You're tempted to take up money and leave money, less money for OH. Or is it all of the above? All right, let's see who is the first one who answer. All right, Yang Yu put 3. Ashley said 1. Janet 1. Try again. Cashmere. Is it Cashmere? Your answer is correct. It's actually all of the above.
Kashmir.
Kashmir, huh? So Kashmir, congratulations. Right, you're the fastest finger to answer the correct question, to give the correct answer. It's actually so to recap, the quiz is also a way for me to help you all recap, right? If you want to remind yourself, right, don't always keep thinking that you want money back fast, right? You want money back fast, then you have to accept a low return, or you may have to take a high risk, or the very worst, right, you might even fall prey to a scam. Okay, and because you keep wanting money back fast, right, you never really get the discipline to see the money grow to a point where you can have monthly income. Oh, that's why I mentioned lifetime income stream is very important and will be the focus of next webinar. Okay, and with that, I'd like to hand this time back to, is it Eugene? Eugene will introduce Yuan Tai, or one of you can take over. Okay, so thank you for.
Just take over so that we can save time.
Hi, okay, good. Okay, Yuan Tai, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor, for the sharing the Legacy ATM. I really subscribe to that, and I did a Legacy ATM for my wife and myself as well. So I really love that. But right now, I'll move on to the second instrument, and it's called a zero tax condo. And I myself also have property, and I invest in property for rental income. And I can tell you firsthand, really, it's not easy to invest in property. And of course, all of you are aware, I'm sure, that the government has instituted new measures, the ABSD. And in fact, the ABSD has just gone up again. So even before you start making money, the government, our Akong, already take away 20% of what you put in the investment. Okay, this is a Straits Times article featuring myself and my wife. So I was interviewed on how we manage our finances together as a couple. This is very, very important. And of course, zero tax condo, this concept, there is no taxes, no ABSD, no property taxes, no income taxes. Okay, those of you who do property for rental, you have to declare your income tax as well. But this zero tax condo, none of that. And on top of that, if you rent out your property to people, to your tenants, you always pray that you get good tenants. And sometimes this is not the case. I'm very blessed. My 2 properties, studio apartment in Philippines, Manila, they always have good tenants. But if you meet the nightmare tenants, I tell you, the trouble has just begun. Let me jump straight in. Zero tax condo, 12K per year. So basically, if you remember what Eugene has shared, I'm just building on that. We have $48,000 cash flow as a income as a household, husband and wife, double income, and you want to put in a portion of that, just 12K per year into this zero tax condo. I don't know of any condo in Singapore you can just put in 12K per year times 15 years and you fully paid out. I really don't know. Even a shoebox apartment nowadays is more than $500,000, more than 500,000. Yeah, the property prices in Singapore is crazy high. And on top of that, if those of you who invest in property, the rental yield is 2 to 3%. But what are we looking at in terms of this zero tax condo? It's really an energy, not a real condo, but it's a vehicle. 5 to 6% in rental income. And of course, on top of that, capital gains, 6.5%. And on top of that, welcome bonus. When you buy a condominium in Singapore, I recently just bought my new condo. In fact, I just moved into my new place. 2019, I bought this condo. My agent thanked me with a cup of tea. Okay, she bought me New Year goodies, so I'm thankful for that. But no agent will give you 15% welcome bonus on the first year. But this zero tax condo has 15% welcome bonus. And on top of that, 0.8% bonus every 8th year. And on top of that, 103% capital guaranteed death benefit. Wow, I don't know of really any condo except this zero tax condo, and we shall find out more. What is it? So it's actually called the Allianz Fund. It's global investors, and you can see that it's 5-star rated by Morningstar. So it's an independent rating agency that compares funds of similar kind of class. And this is 5-star rated Allianz Fund. And we have done our research. There are lots of funds out there that we can recommend, but we have done our research and we found that Allianz Fund is the best fund in terms of dividend yield. And your dividends will immediately you invest into this fund. The second month onwards, you see it coming right into your bank account. And how much dividends we are looking at? 7 to 9% based on the historical records. 7 to 9% again. Of course, we conservatively just put it at 6 to 7%. And the dividends, you can see 6 cents per unit. So let me just share with you a try and tested 3D strategy of lowering your risk of investment. So if you have been paying attention, Eugene actually mentioned one of the Ds. Please type inside the chat box, those of you, especially those of you who are very active in the stock market like myself, what are the 3D strategies of investment so that you can minimize your risk? Yeah, let me just pull up the chat. Okay, please type inside the chat box, what are the 3D investment, 3D strategies of investment? Oh, I just reviewed one of them. Actually, diversification, Eugene mentioned one of them. Please type inside the chat box. I'm just waiting for some replies. For those of you, especially those of you who are into stock markets, please don't be selfish. Please share some of your knowledge. Still waiting for a response. Let's have some response. Please share what are the 3D strategies that we can lower our risk so that we maximize our returns. DCA, yes, very good. Let me just move on in the interest of time. So diversification, this Allianz Fund is very well diversified. You can see you invest into different sectors, and 2/3 of it is actually in bonds and 1/3 of it is in equities. That's why this Allianz Fund is able to give good dividends consistently. And you can see the asset allocation is across various industries. And the second D, dollar cost average, very simply, is to put in consistently. You set aside an amount, in this case is 12K every year, and put inside this fund. Instead of trying to time the market, if we do dollar cost average strategy, you help us to take away the emotions from investing. And you can see over the 5 years, there's up and down like a roller coaster, but if we stay invested over a period of time, you can see that we will be able to make returns and maximize our chances of getting returns. Finally, the last D, duration. If we give ourselves 10 to 15 year period to stay invested, Victor has already said just now, if you want to give ourselves a good chance to make returns, we definitely need to be looking at it in the terms of 10 years or more. So you can see for this Allianz fund, we look at a short term, 6 months, 1 year, it's very volatile. However, if we look at it, for this fund, inception is 2011, so it's been 12 years since Allianz fund has been around, 6.37% per annum PA. And the 3 most common mistakes we make, myself included, so I started investing very early during my university days, and I used my hard-earned tuition money and ang pao money that I saved and I invested into the stock market, and of course, I paid the price for it because I didn't know better then. But the 3 mistakes, that's why I'm sharing from my experience. Short-term thinking, number 1. We want to go in and out, in and out. We want to try to time the market. But let me tell you, it's very difficult. Even experts have failed trades. And basically experts, they make money because they have more winning trades than failed trades. So if we go in short-term thinking, we want to make within 6 months, within 1 year, and that's how people get into cryptocurrency as well. They want to catch the bull. They call it shooting to the moon, but they end up shooting to the moon and then they crash down to don't know where. And of course, some of you have been following the news. The second biggest cryptocurrency exchange just got sued by the US regulators. So I really don't know where crypto is going. But if you're into crypto, my advice is always diversify, limit just 5 to 10% of your total investment portfolio to cryptocurrency. Don't overexpose yourself. Okay, number 2, unrealistic expectations. You expect, you put in, immediately you see 2x, 3x within the next few years. Victor has already mentioned, the only thing that happens in that, there's just a few years ago, some of you have actually read some news. Actually, there's this thing called the 3% every month Forex returns investment. 3% every month. And some of my friends that I know of, they went into it, they lost 6 figures, 7 figures. 3% every month Forex returns. Turns out to be a Ponzi scheme. Let's not have unrealistic expectations, but let's really put our feet on the ground and let's look at it realistically. Because we don't want to play with our retirement. We don't want to play with our families and our own self, our money, our future. Hijacked by emotions, especially fear. So the market has been volatile over the past 24 months, 36 months. And then some of my clients even ask me, oh, Yuan Tai, you recommended this fund, right? So I just bought into it and then now it's going down. Let's not be fearful. Let's have the big picture at heart. We are in it for at least 10 years, 15 years. We are building towards our retirement. Don't let fear catch us. Don't let fear control us. And of course, don't let the fear of missing out. This is very crucial as well. Don't let the fear of missing out control you as well. Say, oh, everybody is going to this stock. Everybody is buying this stock or SIA. Everybody now buying into it. Please don't follow the sheep. Let's be rational and let's be reasonable in terms of our investment. Okay, so I'm done with my segment and then I'll hand over right now to Eugene and then he'll be wrapping up this entire webinar. Eugene.
Thank you. Yes, you can hear me, huh? Wow, we are good for time now, 9:09. Okay, before I share the last strategy, which is the attack, right? People who are usually carried out on the stretcher. Can I invite all of us to take a deep breath first? Well, because Victor Yuan Tai share a lot of information, not just about numbers, but also about themselves. Yeah, so can I ask you to look at whatever you have been writing and please write down what has been the most helpful. Yeah, then I go into my third segment. Yeah, because the last thing I want is I share, finish, and then you can't remember anything from tonight, you know, so you have wasted 1.5 hours. So please write down what has been the most helpful for you. You don't have to write down on a Zoom chat, just write down on your own paper or tablet. Okay, what has been the most helpful for you? And by the way, I attend a lot of webinars, which is why I ended up being scammed by this Forex, so-called Forex trader, which ended up being a Ponzi scheme. Because I want to learn, you know, I'm a very curious person. I want to learn. So I join all sorts of things. And I'm very transparent. I mean, those who know me as a friend, you know, I'm very transparent. I actually went into Ethereum and Bitcoins 2 years ago, okay? Yeah, despite being a financial consultant, despite knowing that it is a risky instrument, I went in, okay? And thankfully, I didn't put a lot of money. I put about 12K. And I even used the 12K as an object lesson for my son. My son is 19, by the way. And he's always talking about Bitcoin. So I said, okay, this pocket money for this month, I don't give to you, okay? I put into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, then he got very worried. He said, huh? What's going to happen to my money? Okay, fast forward the story. We lost a big chunk of it. We're now left with about 6K plus. Yeah. So it is painful, but not as painful as, of course, losing millions or whatever. You know, it's still money we can afford to lose. You know, we're not going to kill ourselves over it. But it's a very good object lesson for my son. You know, so I have a feeling my 19-year-old son from now on will be quite risk averse starting from this year. Okay, so just to tell you that diversification is not just a slogan for me. You know, I strongly believe in it so much that I even put money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, and I have friends coming up to me with some business schemes also, and I also put money with them. Okay, the idea is that you should be so well diversified that if any part of it is a scam or you lose it, you won't panic, right? You will not have sleepless nights. That's the whole point, right? No matter how good you think Yuan Tai's plan is or Victor's plan is, do not put every part of your cash flow in it, okay? Right, this is silly, right? You should always carve out a certain percentage for something else. Okay, so right now, can you please write down, there's defender already, which is Victor, there is midfielder, which is Yuan Tai. You know, how many percent of your cash flow would you put into each? Okay, there's a bit of a gamble because you don't know what I'm going to talk about. Okay, if you want to be FOMO, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out, then you can put aside maybe 10 to 15% for what I'm about to tell you. Okay, even though I haven't told you yet, but put aside 10 to 15%. Okay, are you ready? Don't put into the Zoom chat. Don't tell us this kind of thing. Just write down on your paper how many percent would you put on Victor's strategy, legacy ATM. You know, there's a huge guaranteed component. And then how many percent would you put into Yuan Tai zero tax condo? It is very attractive, by the way. My own money is in it also, but not all my money, okay? Yeah, a percentage of my monthly cash flow. By the way, let me just be fully transparent. I put 40% of my monthly cash flow in the zero tax condo, 40%, okay? Because it's going to leave a huge legacy for my 3 children. I got 3 children, 1 boy, 19, 2 girls, 15 and 13. So I want them to have a few $1,000s each person, right? For the rest of their life after I pass on. By the way, CPF, just now Victor said it's legacy. It's legacy in terms of the nominee, right? You have a nomination and then the whole lump sum, because my dad passed on in 2019, so I know exactly how it works, right? I even went to CPF board and then I even submitted SingPass for my mom, right? So it's a huge lump sum cash passed to your beneficiary, to your nominee, right? It does not continue paying the monthly payout to your nominee. Whereas whatever Yuan Tai just shared, it continues to pay the monthly payout, whether it's 2K, 3K, to your beneficiary for as long as they live. So it's very different. CPF is very different from this. Yeah. Okay, now let me start my segment. My segment is quite short, by the way, or it's quite short, because tonight is all about low to mid risk. I just wanted to cover all grounds by sharing with you high risk, but I actually don't advocate for it. Okay, yeah. So here goes my high risk. So high risk would have all these stock dividends, properties, franchises, MLM, vending machine, Magic Mountain. Okay, tonight I will not talk about MLM at all. I think you have more than enough friends into Nu Skin, Amway, Herbalife, USANA, right? Let them talk to you, okay? I'm not going to talk to you. And by the way, I don't advocate for MLM also, okay? So, but I just put it there so that it's a more complete information. Let's start with the most interesting part, vending machine. Okay, please be honest. Who here already went into vending machine? Please put 1. Okay, those who haven't gone into vending machine rental, put 0. That means everybody needs to reply. 1 is you already started renting out vending machine. 0 is you haven't. Okay, full disclaimer, I am not in charge of a company that rents out vending machine. So even if you do it, in the end, I won't benefit. Okay, I'm just sharing it because it is interesting. I'm not sharing it because I sell vending machines. Okay, just to be very clear, I'm a certified financial consultant. So if it's insurance or passive income instrument, I do it, but not vending machine. Yeah, but I really find it so interesting. I think it will benefit you to know. Okay, so what do you need to know? Number 1, you need to know what's your upfront cost. So on the first year, you will need roughly 16K. 16K, I think to most of you, no problem. Just remember, this is not really super passive, right? Because you need to move the vending machine to the location. Hello, right? Nobody's going to do it for you. So it's not like super passive, like, wow, Victor's one, very passive. I just sign and then you get your legacy ATM forever. Your entire one also, right? You just have to sign and then you get your passive income forever. This one, after you sign, you have to actually rent a truck and move the machine. And if you are into it, I guess some people will go into 2nd, 3rd, 4th vending machine, right? That means you have to get a big truck. And then you have to choose a location. Hello, right? This is not a virtual thing. This is a brick and mortar thing. There's an actual tangible thing that you have to put somewhere, whether it's at Bugis or maybe in a poly somewhere, right? You have to choose the location. By the way, Lily Ho is very good with location. Go and contact her. Yeah, then she knows which location is good for property. I don't know whether she knows which location is good for vending machine. Yeah, but at least she knows about location. Okay, but don't forget, this is only your first year, you know. Some people pay first year and think that that's all. No. Okay, there is a running cost. Okay, so there is continuous maintenance. This is a real machine. There's gear inside. Okay, there's electronic parts. You have to maintain it. So it's $100 per maintenance per machine. And I don't think you can just maintain once forever. Yeah. And then don't forget there's location rental. This is considered quite cheap, $200 for one location. You know, I used to pass by this vending machine opposite Bugis. It is this called Australian Academy. Then there's this vending machine there all the time. And it's that one, because the traffic is very low, that one is $200 per location, okay, per month. But no traffic, only students, you know, the Australian students come down and then they actually don't buy anything from the vending machine. I always see them run to Bugis Junction. Okay, so do it at your own risk. And then there's transport, there's commercial. Anyway, tonight I'm not selling vending machine. So please take a screenshot and then go and slowly research. Okay. Then don't forget, you actually need food inside. Right? You cannot just have upfront cost and then have mainly maintenance and then empty one, the machine. Right? You do need to pay. Everything you see in this picture, you need to pay, right? Just that you are paying wholesale prices. It's almost like the mama shop, right? If you open a mama shop, people buy the kaka or buy whatever chocolate, right? You pay wholesale, people buy retail, and you earn the margin, okay? For your information, the margin is very thin, okay? Very thin. So if you do it, don't do it because you can earn a lot from chocolate, right? Do it because it is compared to a real shop where you need to hire a human being there to make sure collect the money, make sure close the shutter. Compared to that, this is a lot more passive. But compared to what Yuan Tai and Victor just shared with you, it is a lot more active, right? Because you have to go and count stock. and replenish. You know what's the most irritating thing is to go to a vending machine and it has no stock of the drink you want. Okay, nobody will visit that machine again because once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Okay, so they lose trust of your machine. Okay, these are all the costs. Take a picture, please. Take a picture, and don't forget, Eugene Sia doesn't sell machines. Okay, at least you know that in terms of high risk, high return, don't straight away go and do Yao Yao yogurt, go and do 7-Eleven franchise, McDonald's, like you crazy or what? These you really actually need to do renovation and then go and pay people, wear uniform, train them. Like please, don't do such thing. Okay, like at least if you are really hands itchy, go for the vending machine. Okay, now let's go for more traditional high risk plans like stocks. Okay, stock dividends are, for example, if you choose a particular stock and then you do your proper calculation and then you look at their history of dividend payout, then you feel like, okay, I think this stock is good, right? The price may not go up, but at least it is stable and it will give you dividends. Okay, so another thing, again, this is just a screenshot based on a recent report, right? I'm just screenshotting to you. None of them are my recommendation, right? I'm just showing you that if you really like stock dividends, this will be the yield you get, okay? The top 3 ones, Ascenders, Yanlord, Hutchison, will give you 8 to 10%. Do you still remember Yuan Tai just now said how many percent for his? Anyone? Please test your memory. Go and type how many percent did Yuan Tai say as the annual dividend yield? How many percent? Let's test your memory. Wow, Vinu, $10 GrabFood voucher for you, okay? Sponsored by Eugene Sia. Okay, very good. Hey, but I don't have your number. Hey, Victor Yuan Tai, do you have her number? You have, okay, good. Yeah, so go through Victor. Very good. And then, hey, this is still the top 10, top 10, top 10, I'm not showing you the lowest, I'm showing you the top 10, It's about 5 to 6%. Okay, just imagine this. You are actually choosing stocks, doing your calculation, and you are still earning low yield. I don't understand. Why go through so much trouble to earn low yield? Just get a fixed deposit or treasury bill or go to what Yuan Tai and Victor share. Like, I don't understand why people go through so much trouble to earn low yield. And not only is it low yield, the stock may disappear anytime, because don't forget, these are all individual companies. I'm not saying that Hutchison Port will disappear tomorrow, yeah, but it's still run by corporate governance, it's still run by a board of committee, it's still run by people, right? Just like Nokia is run by people, HiFlux is run by people, right? All these come and go because it's individual company. Choosing an individual company is risky, okay? Yeah, but everybody will always complain, say, hey, you talk about passive income stream, you should also talk about stock dividend. Okay, then I thought about it. Yeah, but please go in at your own risk. The yield for the longest time has been low. Okay, it is not because now Ukraine war, right? Stock dividends is notoriously low one. So if you really want dividend, go for what Yuan Tai shared with you, not go and choose individual stock dividend. But if you want to choose, nobody will stop you also. But I'm just showing you that it's low yield plus high risk, right? Doesn't make sense. Now, REITs is more exciting, okay? REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust. I'm very proud to announce to you that I used to work for Singapore Stock Exchange in 2001 to 2008. And I was part of the marketing team for REITs and exchange traded funds, right? So even though I'm now a certified financial consultant, I have nothing bad to say about REITs. REITs is actually quite good. Let me show you. The dividend yield on average is 7.6%. Okay, not bad. Quite comparable to what Yuan Tai was sharing with you. And this is not an analogy. REIT is an actual property. Okay, so for example, CapitaLand will group together all their retail, their offices, and then they call it the commercial REIT, right? So instead of you renting one unit to rent out, you are actually believing, right? You believe that all the commercial properties put together in Singapore will earn good yield with all these offices setting up in Suntec, in this, in that. Yeah, then you put money in this without the hassle of fixing the electricity, finding tenants and all that. So that's what REITs is for. So Yuan Tai share a zero tax condo. Now I'm sharing REIT. This REIT is actual property. That means it's subject to the same risk as property. But Yuan Tai is sharing an analogy, right? It was using an income fund. So bonds, generally the risk is lower than equities. Okay, this one you go to any class diploma in finance, they'll tell you bonds risk is lower than equities. Okay, yeah. So if you are the low to mid risk kind of person, don't go for REITs. Okay, go for what Yuan Tai shared, because both behave similarly, but what Yuan Tai shared has lower risk. Okay, let's look at the top 10 performing S-REITs in the first quarter of this year. The second quarter is not over yet, so don't ask me for the second quarter. Right, so the first three is listed there: Parkway Life, Keppel, ARA. Okay, and then the worst three are these three. Okay, Dacier, Lippo Malls, and I used to bring Lippo Malls overseas to Tokyo for roadshow. I'm so sorry they behave so poorly now. Okay, and then EC World REIT. Okay, so again, take a screenshot. I have curated this information for you, not because I recommend, but because at least you know the full picture. Let me continue. So this final category of high risk, high return, passive income stream is called mutual funds or unit trusts. And these are some samples of companies that do it. Okay, retail sector facing real headwind moving forward. Yeah, of course, right? Okay, so we don't have time, first of all, and also I don't represent BlackRock or iFAST or Fund Supermart or Schroders. So I'm going to share with you my own opinion. Ready? My own opinion. In my opinion, okay, America is a no-brainer, right? In my opinion, you know the S&P index, right? Most people who don't know what to do, they will at least go and get the S&P ETF, right? Because S&P consists of 500 blue chip in US, right? I don't have a crystal ball, but it should be fine, right? 500 is a very big number. By the way, just now Yuan Tai shared the Allianz is also 500, right? Don't go and choose like STI ETF with 30 stocks inside. Right? 30 is not diversification. Hello. And out of 33 are local banks, UOB, OCBC, DBS. Like, never buy a STI ETF and say you're diversified, okay? It is very concentrated. But if you buy S&P, right, with Nike, McDonald's, Google, wow, got IT lah, got retail lah, FMCG lah, that is called diversified. So right now I'm showing you a very diversified chart. Okay, there was a crash because of a knee-jerk reaction during COVID, right, the lockdown. Yeah, but ever since that has climbed up. And then during this period, you see it has eased off because of the Ukraine war and the high inflation. But anyone with eyes will see that if you are in it for the long term, your money will definitely make money, right? The people who lose money are people who like to panic, right? Just now Yuan Tai shared the 3 mistakes. The third mistake is being hijacked by your own emotional fear and greed. Okay, greed means like, I want to time the market. Wow, now the market is so good. At this level, I want to put in $500,000. This is called greed. Right, because no one is predicting that the market won't go down further, right? Right, you think it has already turned up, right? It may or may not. I don't have a crystal ball, so I prefer to do dollar cost average, like what Yuan Tai advised. Okay, don't be greedy, but neither should you be fearful. Suddenly, because of COVID, wow, crash down, right? A lot of people cut their loss. So silly. You know, I bought a lot of unit trusts and it went down. Right, because you know that this market makes sense and then now it go down, so you must buy more, not go and sell, buy more. Okay, this is what Warren Buffett teaches us, but he's talking about stocks, not talking about unit trust. Okay, so these are some of the representative talking about Warren Buffett, his companies here. Okay, so these are some of the representative components in this American fund. Okay, the second one I would like to share, and this is again my personal opinion, and you see the graph performing very similarly, is Global Technology Fund. Okay, it performs very similarly, just that the crash is not so steep, but it's quite similar, right? In the long term, it will still go up. Currently, the technology firms are all retrenching people, right? Retrenchment is very bad for employees, very good for the company. Can anyone tell me why? Go to the Zoom chat and tell me why retrenchment is bad for employee, good for company. Why? And therefore, as shareholders, we should get in now at a dollar cost average. Okay, don't get in now by pumping $500,000 into technology stocks, but dollar cost average. Yes, very good, Catherine. Right? Because the employees are a cost. They are cost. So when you get rid of them, suddenly the profit margin bumps up. Okay, I'm sorry to talk about people this way because I was retrenched before. It is painful, right? But we're talking about shareholding now. We're talking about investment. We're not talking about retrenchment. Okay, so please get the topic correctly. Okay, the component stocks are these. Okay, these are the blue chip technology companies, right? All the famous companies. You probably have even been a consumer of some of them. Like for example, right now I'm using a Microsoft laptop. And then the third one, this one, I am not recommending. I want to be very clear. Eugene Sia is not recommending, but a lot of people tell me I should talk about it. Okay, Greater China. Mr. Xi Jinping, I hope you're not listening because I don't want to be killed or arrested or something. But he is unpredictable. Like suddenly ban the education stocks, suddenly ban the entertainment stocks. Like I don't know what he's going to do next. But if you feel that something inside you, you have a dream from God that China is the answer for the next 20 years, then by all means put in, okay? But I will not recommend any of my friends to put into Greater China. Okay, I will say global technology is much safer than Greater China. Okay, but you don't have to agree with me, it's fine. I just want to show you 3 charts from 3 different companies. And I want to tell you in the long term, even for Greater China, in the long term, it's going up. But I have no telling what's going to happen next year. If they suddenly say, we want to fight, don't know which country, like Taiwan and all that, wow, then sorry, I'm very sorry to your money. Okay. Okay, so these are the component stocks for the Greater China. If you put all 3 together, right, all of them have a very big problem. If you pull out at the wrong time, you may get back less than what you put in. That's the reason why in Singapore, the median family, sorry, it didn't move, is it? Yuan Tai, do you see you may get back less than what you put in? Yes, okay, good. Yeah, Ray, if you don't mind, maybe refresh your screen a little bit. Okay, so my problem is this, okay, and this problem, I have faced it before, especially when I was in the Singapore Stock Exchange. A lot of financial consultants approach me and they tell me, hey, put into something that locks in for 10 years, 15 years. And I always laugh at them. I say, you're so silly. Why would you lock in your money? You know, I can put in anything I want and tomorrow I can sell already. I want my money to be fully liquid. Right? Just now, Victor talked about this. And because of this, because it's fully liquid, every time the market tanks, I'm talking about last time, I will pull it out, right? Because I feel fearful that, hey, better cut loss. Then every time the market goes up, then I feel very greedy and I put in more than I should instead of dollar cost average. So now I'm 47 years old, okay? I no longer say I want my money to be fully liquid. Of course, my bank account has some fully liquid money that I can bring my son to Japan, you know, bring my daughter out to Universal Studio. I do have. But most of my money, I don't want it to be liquid. I want it to be in CPF, locked in until 65, then I can see my 2.3K back. I want to lock it in Yuan Tai's instruments so that I can see 2 to 3K per month forever for my children for as long as they live. I want to lock it in because I know I will sabotage myself if I fast in, fast out, want to make a quick buck. And so let me introduce you a very unique strategy that number 1 will not cost you to take out less than you put in. And number 2, right, you will never, ever, never, okay, please underline never, lose your money in the stock market ever again. It is so unique that you can go shopping in any company. I promise you, you will not see it, right? Only through the 3 of us, you will see it. Okay, and don't worry, it's not a scam, it's MAS regulated. Okay, this is what happened. Listen very carefully. Your market goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But because it's locked in, you will not suddenly pull out at the worst moment. Right? And because it's regular dollar cost average or dollar cost average, you will not suddenly pump in more than you should also. Okay, so it's a very disciplined approach. The difference is at this point, okay, at this point, we call it the peak. At the peak, the value will be locked in, okay? If you are taking picture or recording, please write this down because a lot of people forget this part. The value will be locked in at the peak. I repeat, because it's so unique that some people miss this sentence. The value will be locked in at the peak of the fund. Can you imagine if you had bought the global technology and it locks in at the peak? That means in the future, if there's more war and it tanks down, your value still locked in at the peak 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I've never heard of such a strategy or invention. Only last year it was invented. Okay, it is a robot. Nowadays everything also robot. It is a robot invented by a company that will track the fund, and then the moment it reaches a peak, the robot stays there, so that when the fund drops due to stock market volatility, the robot continues to stay at the peak. Okay, here is the condition. Everything got condition. This value that you log in is for your spouse or for your children. Okay, it is not for you. If you want to spend the money, then you have to be subjected to all the up and down volatility like everyone else. Okay, there's no special treatment for you. But if you are the generous kind of person like me who wants to leave a legacy for my children or for my wife, by the way, my wife doesn't work, right? So I'm the sole breadwinner. So I like this kind of thing because I know that if suddenly I got heart attack and then suddenly car bang me or suddenly my plane go missing or anything, or not allowed to share this kind of joke nowadays. Okay, then my children and my wife will get the highest possible value of the fund. Okay, so this name has a nickname. Okay, it's called the Magic Mountain strategy. It is Magic Mountain because the mountain stays at the peak and doesn't come down. That's why we call it a Magic Mountain. Okay, I'm sorry, not enough details for you because I need to sit down properly with you one-on-one to know your cash flow, to know your risk appetite before I can share more details. But generally speaking, that is the strategy. Okay, this is a summary. The three of us have shared these three. The first one is called Legacy ATM. I put it D as defender. Then Yuan Tai shared about zero tax condo. I put it M as midfielder. And I just shared with you something called Magic Mountain. I put it F as forward. Okay, please go to the Zoom chat and type D, M, or F. Which one resonates with you the most so far? After we talk until our saliva dry, which one resonates with you the most? If it's all three, just put all three, but I don't think it's all three. Or different people have different personality and risk appetite. Okay, so put which one resonates with you most. Okay, so for Clarence is D. Sounds like a scam. Thank you, Linz. Yes, the first time I heard it, it sounds like a scam. Yeah, but it's MAS regulated. It is something controlled by a robot. Even chatbot, ChatGPT sounds like a scam, right? How can someone write a more beautiful poem for my wife than me? Yeah, but this is the world we live in nowadays. Giant says FM. Yu Yang says FD. FD is not fixed deposit. It's Magic Mountain and Legacy ATM. Okay, Jimmy says D. Once again, no right or wrong. Okay, my suggestion is all of us should do all three, right? But of course, it depends on your cash flow and also depends on your risk appetite. Okay, yeah, allocate a certain percentage. Okay, that's all for our strategy. The final thing we want to do is to invite you to have a one-on-one 45-minute Zoom with us. Okay, it doesn't cost you a single cent. Don't worry. By the way, what do you think? What do you think the letter A stands for here? Right, knowledge doesn't improve situation. What is the letter A? Something does. What is the something? Thank you, Pauline. Actually, I gave the answer away. So sorry, I clicked too fast. Yeah. Okay, it's action. So what is the action? You don't have to sign anything yet. The action is to at least have a one-on-one Zoom with us so that you can ask us questions. And I promise you, those who are my friends, Victor's friends and Yuan Tai friend, you know that we are not salesy kind of people, right? During the 45 minutes, it's pure education, answer, question. And then after that, you have 100% control of what you want to do next, right? You can say thank you, bye-bye, or you can sign something, or you can wait and consider. It's totally up to you, okay? There's no obligation to proceed anything during the 45-minute Zoom, but at least you clarify your doubts. So you can personalize your magic percentage across these 3 strategies. You can assess your real long-term risk, not based on self-assessment, but based on a series of questions that we actually ask you. And then you can create a lifetime timeline so that you know at 62, what money will be released to you, 65, what money will be released to you, at 72, what money will be released to you, okay? So all of us buy plans without knowing at which point you don't have to pay anymore, at which point the money will come back to you. So we will do that for you. And then not just that, all of us are trained to look into psychology and mindset also. So we will help you through NLP, Neuro-Linguistics Programming, to help you see what is this psychological barrier that is blocking you from growing your money. You know, why is most of your money in fixed deposit? Is it really rational or irrational? So all these things will help you look into it. So usually all of us are certified coaches here. So we charge $250 for a session, but for tonight, it is waived, okay? It's waived. By the way, go and ask around what is a coaching fee. It is around $250, right? But we want to waive it because we want to help you. Okay, so just quickly scan the QR code and then we can proceed. Okay, don't worry, tonight will not be the 45-minute Zoom. Okay, all of us are tired. Just scan the QR code first, then leave your number, and then tell us which of these 3 strategies you want to understand more of. Then we will schedule it for either this weekend or next week or 2 weeks later. Okay, so the 45-minute Zoom is much later. It's not tonight. Just scan it first so that we know who wants it, okay, who can appreciate it. Yeah, you can either click on the link that